pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for coming. Roll call, John Hotchkiss here.
Bill Bailey here.
John Mullen here.
Okay, we have some minutes from August 27th, please. I've read those. Is there a motion to accept as written?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I believe the 29th had to do with intent to cut.
Yep.
That's why it was on an off day, but it was posted, I don't know, 24 or 48 hours ahead of time. Okay.
24.
All right. Is there a motion to accept the minutes of August 29th?
So move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay, good. Okay, election day. I can dog unless somebody else has some things to add to it.
Nope, so it's for you.
We're gonna be open from 7 to 7. Thank you, Rick, for allowing us once more to use your facilities. Jack Savage was asking, the moderator was asking, what time the building is normally, or will be open tomorrow.
We'll be there at 6 in the morning.
Okay, you'd like to be there at 6.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again. We'd hope to be in the town hall. We'd hope that the main floor would be completely finished. Well, Snooky Shea said, I'm gonna sand all the floors, otherwise, if I sand and finish the main floor and then I sand the other ones, the dust is gonna get on the, so. He has sanded the main floor, the hallway by the bathrooms, the stage. The old selectman's office was already done, the kitchen was done, it just needs more coats. So now sanding is done, and I understand today, last coat. But it takes 24 hours to dry. Okay, you think, oh, I got 24 hours. If you worked it all with any of the stuff, 24 hours is good for another coat. But I'd like to have it completely dry before people start walking on it. So that's why we're gonna postpone the use of it until, I don't know, a little while longer. Yes?
Can I ask a really stupid question?
I know you smart answers.
Why aren't we using the school instead of putting the highway department out?
No room for parking.
There's 56 spaces over there.
Right.
We never have 56 people at one time. You know,
Some
when that
elections.
school was put together and it was
Right.
touted to the people, it was also touted that we would be using it for things like elections or when we can't use the old town hall.
Right.
But yet we're putting the highway department out and there's no school over there tomorrow.
Right.
No,
Because of the election?
because they follow Wolfborough's schedule and Wolfboro and the other towns
Oh,
use
do
the
they use the
schools.
school? Ah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
reluctant to
sense.
really have the lack of parking. There's an ongoing problem with people parking on the street. You put cars on the street, there's no place for people to get out of the car and walk because there's no sidewalks. There's also no place to walk with a child or two along that highway without some degree of danger. Right? A solution that has been discussed from time to time is additional parking. Okay? When we first talked about having this building, there was plans to put it back, parking in front. Good idea, till they figured out that it takes a lot of fill to fill in the back. They moved it forward and lost it for parking. Okay? Yes?
So I guess my question, so 50, so it's because there's not enough parking down there, which is how many, accommodates how many parking?
56 spaces.
How many parking spaces do we have over at the town hall?
I don't know,
I can't imagine we have 56.
you know.
I think there's 56
We
over
don't
there.
have parking spaces, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, no, there you go.
Some math on the size of the vehicle.
Right, but I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, I don't think you could get any,
Right.
that's just my point is,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Certainly in the future, you can say that this is the primary, so they're not gonna have a lot of people. But in the future, like as early as November, I'm reluctant to start moving this round and round. We're gonna have it over here.
You know, but I don't think,
the town hall meeting all set by then.
Yes,
right?
it will.
right.
Yeah. Joanne?
I would like to go on record as commending the selectmen for not having it at the school, erring on the side of caution against parking in the street and having someone possibly get injured. And the other thing I would like to address is that when the school realized they were going to relocate the footprint, I think at that point they were already aware of the parking situation potentially being a problem, and it should have been addressed then.
Separate issue, right now, Wakefield, I'm sorry, Kingswood, Wolfboro closes their schools. I taught in White Plains, New York for 30 years, where we had school and elections going on the same day. It was a big school, we set aside one gymnasium for people to walk in, adults, walk in the door, walk down the hall, past the classrooms, into the gymnasium. Oh, some of them walked down the hall and hid out the bathrooms. Others took the stairs and upstairs. So I'm certainly reluctant if they ever have that building open to have any election there. Because you just don't know who's going into it, all right? But that's not the case now, I know it's closed.
It was just a curiosity
Yeah.
question.
7 to 7. I spoke with the moderator. We have no concerns about Russian interference in Middleton. We're good. Okay?
Really?
All right. Anything else? We have to have a majority of selectmen. So issue and I are there.
Yep.
You did all the cleanup that day, so you're excused. All right.
Well, I can come vote.
Yes, you can do that. Sure. Right?
You can hang out with us too.
I'll go vote.
All right. Anything else? Any other comments from anybody? All right. Here we go. Assessor clerk position.
Okay, so I just came up with a thing to post on that website and on the boards. Jonathan from Avatar was looking through her stuff today to try to get us through a couple deadlines that we have. But he's not permanent, so
Was he actually here?
yeah, he'll be here 3 days this week, and he said he's gonna do a little more each time. He's gonna try to catch us up at least, but.
Everybody know what we're talking about? Gwen English was our part-time assessing clerk. She's not an assessor. Avatar does the assessing. She does all the paperwork associated with it. If you have questions, if you request an abatement, an adjustment, it's done through her, and she submits it to Avatar. Almost 2 weeks ago now, she tendered her resignation, for personal reasons. And we've been without one ever since, so looks like we now have a assessor clerk position. Her job right now is 1 day a week. It could probably stand to be more.
I put 2, that's why I didn't post anything, you guys can modify that. The rest of what she does, I took from the job description that Pam had sent me a while back,
Okay,
so I knew most of what they do, but
all right. So, you know, if someone's interested, let us know. Okay. I'm guessing there's some degree of training involved. There's not very many people out there that are assessing clerk knowledgeable already. Maybe someone from another town, but I don't know of anybody who can just walk in and pick that job up without some degree of training ahead of time. Okay? All right. We respond to public inquiries, phone calls, review of abatements, exemptions as they occur, process deeds and transfers. Building permit entry, property flagging, reporting. Prepare land use tax for assessor's approval. Data entry for spring revisions. Enter all property card corrections for both spring pickups and summer. Corrections like you finish building your house, so there's a shed on the property now, okay? Or a shed is taken down. Okay? An MS1 report. Pull all data together, produce through Avatar, review and answer questions, alright? So, I think that is encompassing, how are you gonna post it?
I'm gonna post it like here, cause you have to, but I'm gonna post it on that discussion page that I'm gonna get from the New Durham's tax assessor.
Have you reached out to any local towns to see if they have a part-time that wants more work?
Yeah, I talked to the girl in New Durham, she
Okay.
does Alton as well, so
Ah.
she's kind of backed up.
Okay,
I've gotta call out to Brookfield, but I
okay,
don't know if she's full-time or part-time, everybody thinks she's part-time. But I'm gonna put it out on the group page that goes to all of the assessors in the area, so. I can post it there.
newspaper, no.
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't.
think you're gonna get much.
Put something in the article, if you can give me a copy of that.
Sure. No problem.
Alright, thank you. Property bids.
Okay, so I did my due diligence in posting this. And I got quite a few, to be honest.
What is it?
I posted, what did I post, 4 or 5?
I think it's
5.
Five properties.
Out of how many?
Oh, I have quite a few. I probably have 25 or so.
Why did you pick these 5?
I just randomly pick 5 every so often.
Okay. And you kinda generate some interest to get someone to purchase them and put it back on the tax rolls.
Right.
So we can do these one at a time?
Well,
Sure.
there's only 2. These are all one property, and then there's this one for another property.
Okay, so the single one you have right there, John, you put on the top, what's that for the property? Sure.
Lot 188. I think it's on
Map
Karen
4,
Road.
lot 180, Karen Road.
Yeah.
.248 acres, our asking price is 48, and the assessed value is 25,400.
This is lot, which one is this, the first, oh, this one here?
Map 4, lot 188.
You want me to open this?
Laura,
Yeah.
just a brief overview, not for each individual one, but in general, how long does it take before someone's property becomes the town property?
3 years.
3 years of not paying taxes, okay? And after that, isn't there a time when, before someone buys it, the original owner can buy it back?
Within that 3 years.
Okay.
But once after the 3 years, we can sell it to whoever,
Alright.
and whatever we make. Within the 3 years, if we sold it and we profited, it would go back to the prior owner.
Alright,
Okay,
okay?
alright, so this is 188, I'm opening the
Profit
bid.
goes back to the front.
Opening the bid.
If it's within the 3 years, if it's more than 3 years.
Ready? The bid is from Wendell Hall of Nashua, New Hampshire, and he has a bid of $4,825.
Is this land only?
Most of them are all land only. That's
Okay.
all that's on the list.
Okay.
Our asking price was 48, and he went 48.25,
4,800, okay. Alright.
so.
Can we make a motion on that one? or-
And I make a motion to accept or reject.
Glad to offer any discussion.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the bid from Mr. Hall for 188,
Well, now, we're gonna be careful here because,
say, alright,
No.
you go ahead, you read it.
okay, the bid, it's adjacent to lot 187. Okay, so he's buying it, and I would make sure that if he does buy it, it's gonna be merged property.
He owns the lot next to it.
Yeah,
So-
he owns 187, he wants to buy 188, okay, that's fine. I
Alright,
would just say, that under the thing, that we've always made sure that if they buy the land only, they merge the two together.
is that the condition? Is that what you wanna say in the
Yes.
motion? Alright, well, since you know how to do that, go ahead.
I make a motion that we accept the bid from, Wendell Hall, at lot 188 for $4,825, and that it be merged with the, current property owns at lot 187,
This is all on Karen Road.
on Karen Road.
Okay. Karen Road's on the backside of Sunrise Lake. Alright, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion from anyone? John?
Please use map and lot numbers on those lots, please.
Okay.
Where's my posting? I believe it's map 4.
Map 4, lot 188 to be merged with, the property at map 4, 187.
Good.
Okay,
Alright. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Is that required? I mean,
What?
by law, is that required that they have to merge them?
Nobody has, oh, we can require it, it's not required by law, but.
Condition of sale.
Condition of sale.
Okay.
Yes, condition of sale.
Alright.
It not only gets the land back on taxes, but it helps particularly around the lake where it's very densely populated already, to keep it from becoming even more densely populated. Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, one down.
What's this property for?
This is map 14, lot 36, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 bids.
Okay. Map 14, lot 36 is Deer Run Road. It's 1.52 acres. We're asking 4,000, and the assessed value is 26,100.
So, are these all different properties coming up?
Yeah. Well, no, there's only two that.
Have responded?
Right.
Okay, so
For
I
these
guess,
these two properties.
so now the bids are all for the same property?
Right.
Alright, this is the first one. Johnny Carson did that. For those who knew Johnny Carson.
Yes.
Some of us don't. Okay, this is a bid from Jason Brannan. Submits a bid of $4,356 for town-owned property located at Deer Run Road, map 14, lot 36.
Anybody familiar with Deer Run? At all?
They all know it's private, right, they bid on this,
Yeah, everybody knows that this is private road.
I hope,
Is it beginning of the road, end of the road?
the whole road's private.
I know, but this particular lot,
I'm not sure, I knew we owned some down in the backside at one time. I don't know if these are the same ones or not.
Second bid I'm opening is from Patrick and Lauren Chafee in Middleton, New Hampshire. Sealed bid for the property located at map 14, lot 36, Deer Run Road. Bid is $4,500.
any advantages of living on a private road? Taxes are a little bit lower,
Okay,
trash pickup is tougher, snow plowing could be non-existent.
this is the second
Do they usually
Bid.
plow it regularly?
The same guy?
No,
Jason
no.
Brand?
Not
Jason
you, but
Brannan
They've had 4 or
submitted
5
a
different
second bid for
contractors.
the
They've had
town-owned
trouble,
property
yeah.
in Deer Run Road, Middleton, map 14, lot 36, of $4,611 and 0 pennies.
Okay.
2 bids. This one is dated 9/5. This one is dated not 9/5. Well, it doesn't matter, just whenever it's.
27.
Alright. This is number 3. You got that? The last bid. This bid is from Michael A. Badger. To whom it makes never mind, okay, I would like to bid the property on map 14, lot 36 for the sum of $4,200. Dated September 9th. It's number,
Wait, September 9th? When all those bids due, September 5th?
It can't be September.
September 4th.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a 9, but it's a 4.
Okay, I just wanted to.
what is
I
that?
just, huh?
Today's the 10th.
Today's the 10th.
Yeah.
But the bids had to be
They
in
were
by the
the
5th.
bids due in
Oh,
last week, that's
okay,
why.
that is a
I
four.
was just
I
on the
can't
front
read
page.
that.
Alright.
I stamp it anyways on the front.
She did stamp it, yeah, it was received on September 5th. That's why we keep the envelopes. Okay.
Alright,
So,
so,
we get-
you, two selectmen. Do you have any concerns that one or more of these might be abutters?
Well, if,
It's not on the lake, it's away from the lake, so how big is the lot, any idea?
1.52 acres.
Okay, yeah, definitely not around the lake then.
Well, it could be. Some,
Yeah, not mine.
on the other Fox Road,
Right.
that's it. That's it.
All right, so
So the highest bid we have is Jason Brandon's second bid, basically $4,611, the parcel.
$4,600.
$4,611.
What did we suggest?
And we suggested 4,000.
Okay, so that's all.
Yeah.
Make a motion, accept
Go
the
with the
highest
highest
bid,
one?
yeah,
Yeah.
4,611 from
At the Rico Street.
Mr. Jason Brennan, yeah.
Trying to,
For lot
Dated.
14.
in the
Dated
shingles down there,
9/5.
trying to keep from getting another one.
So that would be for lot, map 14, lot 36. They're
Hmm?
1.52 acres.
There's a cross
I will second
section
your
or something
motion.
to get
All right.
some of the roof
Any
out.
other discussion?
Jason's on that guy.
We're
Yeah.
going with the highest bid, although we're all pretty close, we're all within
Jason, you can,
a couple $100.
Thanks for those who bid it.
All right, all in favor?
Thanks for those who bid.
All right.
Aye.
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 Sorry.
Public thank you to Laura for doing this,
Yeah.
okay?
I sold quite a few
You got
properties.
a
and
list this long, you didn't publish the whole thing, you just took a few, and look at the interest you got.
I know.
And that brings in,
$8,000, over
$8,000?
$8,000.
yeah, okay?
Fiction, it's a covenant.
No, she don't get commission.
What?
But not only do we get that money, but we start getting taxes. Okay, good, thank you. How often do you do this, Laura?
Every time I get a chance,
Yeah.
I would slowly just pull
Maybe
some and
Once a month? Twice?
maybe a week, every
Couple months?
yeah.
For every quarter.
Yeah, nice. All right, solar exemptions.
Okay, so, a couple of years ago, we passed a
Yes, we did.
warrant at the town, is that what you call it, yeah? To exempt solar panelings from being taxed, okay? So we all like, yeah, well, we didn't do anything more. So in order to get that exemption, you must file with the town. It's a permanent exemption form. So these
Who
people have,
must file, property owner?
the property owner, one-time deal, has to file this, so it's on the record, and it doesn't get taxed. Well, they're supposed to do it by a certain date, but we didn't know. So according to,
The DRA.
yeah, the board needs to approve that you're gonna accept late exemption forms, because we were not aware that we needed to do this, and then you need to approve the ones that we have, if that's what your choice is. Which really, I don't think we have a choice, because the town's gonna.
Sounds like it was our fault for not notifying these people to get it in on time.
Right. We didn't even know you had to fill out the form.
Learn as we go.
Right.
Yeah. So I have 3 here, I'm pretty sure,
All right, is
maybe
there
4,
a motion to,
because these
These
are
are
Accept a
signed.
forms,
late
these are these
submissions?
these forms, saying that we approve a late one, or these are applications?
These are the applications that you need to approve by signing the back.
Okay,
The minutes are gonna say that you're approving to accept late exemptions. Has to be on the record.
okay, so the question I would have, and I have no reason not to approve those, but, property owner should have known about that, you don't.
Yeah, nobody has known, to be honest. They all got their assessment with it. Solar charge.
That's how they found out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm looking for, first motion is just to accept the idea of taking late submissions.
So moved.
Yeah, a second.
Late, these late emissions,
These
these
forms.
exceptions. After that, I would say no. It's the responsibility of the property owner if he's gonna get an exemption, just like it's an intent to cut. We can certainly have the forms available, okay, but we don't. It's the intent of the property owner's responsibility, just like the property owner intends to cut.
I think this is new enough that we're okay with it.
I agree with that, but on this one here, I would say, okay, beyond, forms will be available or online, we can say, go online, get the forms.
All right, so is there a second there?
I guess,
And I'm out of,
do you want to say the motion again, how you want it?
okay, I motion to accept the following late applications for property tax
Alright,
credits.
so that's different than what we're doing. I was gonna do just the concept, you wanna skip that and just accept these late, it's fine, just make sure what.
Well, I don't want to accept late,
Right,
anymore.
okay, so, go ahead.
So, my motion would be, as a general thing, any applications received as of September 10th, any applications, I'm gonna say this, what I'm trying to say, any applications received before September, as of September 10th, and that are late, we will accept. Anything after will not.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, John,
I see a problem with that.
okay?
Where does it state that you have to register this?
Where does
Where do you do it?
Where does it state you have to register with intent to cut?
Where is it?
Where, you should,
People have to be notified if they have to register these
we
things.
will have the forms that you have to register, but I'm not going, I
Who's
don't.
giving out the forms?
What is
Are
the
they
vehicle?
going with building permits? Where are they coming from?
This is coming from.
Don't
Department-
blindside people. Let's
This
make
is the
sure
Department of Revenue.
that they know about these things.
Good.
What is the vehicle for informing people that they need to file by such and such a date?
This is the same form, if I'm not mistaken, that you get for this form is not used just for the veterans taxes, like, it's the same form.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that I just found this bit about the solar thing in when I was rereading some old town meeting records. I didn't know about it. If I put in solar power, I wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't looked at the old town meeting. If someone hadn't read it, who is going to tell them that they need to apply? Is it a code enforcement thing when they get their building permit, or are they told?
We don't go out and tell people you need to apply for a veterans. We don't tell people that. But you know that because when you go and look at your assessment or your card, if you, I'm not trying to keep people in the dark. What I'm saying is there's a certain amount of responsibility, I think, with property owners to know what is available. It's a certain part of responsibility for us to tell it's available. So we certainly, in terms of assessing, can say there's available exemptions for solar, okay, veterans, seniors, disabilities, all that other kind of stuff. And we certainly have forms for that. But, you know, in terms of, I don't want any more late applications coming.
I understand it. I'm just asking,
What is the procedure? There
No.
isn't a,
I'm saying is, when you go to cut for timber, you're dealing with professionals who have done this repeatedly and they're aware of having to file different forms. When you're a veteran, believe me, you're very well aware of some of the benefits that you can get. I'm not sure that everyone who installs solar,
So,
although,
people who put solar, have a company do it,
Yeah, the solar
and
company.
the solar company should be telling you have exemptions.
all right.
same thing,
Okay.
same thing when you buy an all-electric car. What they're gonna tell you is the car is $50,000, but you gotta apply for a federal credit of $7.
Okay.
So
That's been advertised on the TV
well,
show.
whatever.
Well, in my case, in the heating business,
guys
okay,
might-
I put a brand new furnace in somebody like that, and the blower motor, if it's energy efficient, they can get a $75 rebate from the
So-
state for that.
Here's
It's my job to
You
tell them
answered my
about that.
question, thank you.
my,
Thank you.
my,
Go ahead, John, and then Laura.
my intent here is not to have, any more late ones, because they'll just all keep coming in.
But I was looking
So-
for an answer to a specific question, which Joe did. I'm finished.
Okay.
Happy.
Laura, is there room on our website to put a note in about people that have solar energy?
Then I would suggest that we put in there that your veterans credit, seniors
Just make
credit,
a list.
make the list,
Well,
yeah.
I thought they were.
But they still could, for some, okay, so we don't do a late one. The guy don't know, he's, I didn't know, but I'm gonna file it now. I'm not gonna file it as a late one, I'm just gonna file it.
There is an abatement process to go
Sure.
through that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna file it, I'm just gonna put it in, try to get my thing for next taxes.
Correct.
The whole
There's no
thing,
problem.
the whole thing of this, a couple of years ago, we voted on this, was people who wanted it because they wanted to be able to get solar and not get taxed on it.
Right,
That was 2 years ago,
right.
and all of a sudden that was coming up because I didn't know, well, I kinda think people did know, they just didn't, they just thought we automatically took care of it for them, we don't. It's not our job to automatically take care of it, they have to do the process.
Is there a permit process to have that, to do that, put that on? Do you
This
need
is
a
a
building, do you need a building permit or anything, John, to do anything
You
like
do,
that?
you need an electrical permit to do solar panels.
So do you, not putting any more work on you, but do you think that, maybe that,
That's on
when
the
they file for that,
Right.
John could say,
Yeah,
maybe that you need to do this, I mean, then they'd at least know, they gotta see him,
There's supposed to be people selling the solar panels.
People selling the panels.
they gotta see John before they can do it.
right.
And he knows that they need it, so I don't know, maybe he could put a bug in their ear about it at least, maybe, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you need an engineer? But what we're talking about are people who have already done this.
Right.
We're not talking about people who are going to apply from now.
I'm not,
You're only the ones that have done them
Right.
already, who have not applied.
Right. And
That's
it's
the-
possible that in the future, someone will not apply for a shed permit, put up the shed and we catch it later.
or an AOT or something to that effect.
Right. Alright, are we ready? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Alright.
Now, we
It's
have,
probably most of them right there anyways, right? I mean, you don't have a ton of houses that got them on them already.
Yeah.
There's a few
we
of them.
have 4,
Do we have engineering report to
Yeah,
put
you
one
have
on
to
the
send the
roof?
backs of each one of them.
Do we have to make a
I do
motion
mine
to accept?
when they come in, say they all-
Yep, I would do the name, but you would
I
normally
tell them all
accept
that.
each one, it would be back on the back, so you can type the name of the
Make sure.
selectmen
Yep.
print, and then you sign
Can I
it.
put one in my shirt?
Each one.
Put solar panels on.
That's what I thought,
okay, yeah, I got it.
I saw it, well.
You want me to start each one?
Please.
Okay. I make a motion, we accept the permanent application for property tax credit exemptions, from a Joseph P. Malhot at 4 Buttermilk Lane. This application is for veteran. That, these aren't necessarily,
Oh, no, she gave, no, so,
okay.
he's just a veteran as well.
Okay,
he's
he's a
doing
veteran, he's
solar.
applying for a solar system exemption.
Alright, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, so there's one
Alright,
done.
so what we do is we print our name. We can all take a break.
Roger, we got it.
We sign our name,
Well, they're breaking in, read that.
and we date it. And this is 9/10/2008. Oops.
Don't leave. We're almost done.
Almost. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Wow.
There's that one.
He has to go to work.
I suppose if you had got
There's nothing like chasing them off, Joe.
Jeez.
He lost his bid, that's why.
I think I had help over here, this,
He was bidding on that property.
I just
He
fabricated
was
that.
bidding on that year-round property.
Yeah.
Across the street.
Alright, no motion.
I make a
Talk to you
motion, we
about
accept the
something.
permanent application
Yeah,
for property tax credits exemptions for a solar exemption from, Lucian A. Vita PTEE, which is a trust, and Carol M. Vita PTEE, which is a trust at 35A Woodland Road, Middleton.
Is there a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
take a break.
Saw him at Home Depot the other day.
When you fill in the rubber outside, you cut it out.
He could be printing his name on the next two ones or something.
I'm gonna be your secretary.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. That one's done. Next.
Make a motion that we accept permanent application for property tax exemption credits for a solar energy systems exemption for Mark and Jennifer Wainwright at 22 Woodland Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah,
got me in here.
How much is the exemption? Do you know?
Whatever the value is.
It's up to a certain value, it can be up to 50,000, you voted on that 2 years ago.
The information?
Oh, sorry.
But if you put in new
What is it?
furnace,
Yeah.
Just not with it.
new energy efficient windows, you get 0 for exemption.
No, I got that.
Yeah,
Go ahead, give me a like, something about that. Except for a better insulated house.
yes. Alright, is there another one, or?
Yes, there's,
Oh.
there's one
It's
more.
like we're rolling there.
Keeps on rolling.
Okay,
Didn't
Okay.
miss anything.
I make a motion that we accept the permanent application for property tax credits for a, wait a minute. Is this for a solar?
They're all for solar.
Or is it marked?
They're all supposed to be for solar.
Alright, I'm gonna mark solar, and I'm gonna initial it, how's that? Okay. All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
is there a second?
Wait a minute, you didn't give the name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sean D. Sargent of, 679 Route 153 Middleton,
Second.
with an automatic mode.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, okay, we're good. Alright, let's get that signed and we're moving on.
Obviously didn't have a two-sided copy.
Laura, that's it? John?
Yes,
Laura?
that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
While we're waiting, I have a question for our highway agent.
He don't know nothing.
Hurricane Florence, gonna hit us eventually? You're gonna turn, come up, or no?
But the one that's coming in now,
Yeah, it's gonna hit the Carolinas.
the water's gonna hit you next week, yeah. But just hope the other three that's out there don't come up and hit New Hampshire like they hit the Carolinas, cause they don't know where they're going, there's 3 more behind us. So
This is part of the hurricane that hit,
last down in Orleans, yeah.
Norman.
So,
No, that's, isn't that Gordon or Gorham or something?
and land on
It was
the other
Jordan.
side of
Jordan,
Florida.
no, G?
Jordan,
Okay, that's what we're getting now.
Right,
Next week or sometime,
Florence,
Florence.
Florence.
and then there's Isaac and Helene.
Right, and they're still watching them, so,
Bring 'em
yeah.
Just water.
Yeah. Bring them on 2 months before winter, that's perfect, yeah.
He said Isaac's supposed to spin itself out, it's Helene you're gonna watch for.
I don't think road crew works hard enough, they need some more influence.
I agree.
Disagree with that. Okay, we're ready to move forward, Conservation. No.
More than 3 that's here, be faster.
Code enforcement, how we doing?
I really don't have much to say, cause I haven't been here for a while. Just catching up on a lot of the loose ends, whatever.
Okay.
Welcome back, John.
Thank you. Thank you for the people who called and sent cards and whatever. Appreciate it.
It's been a busy summer in terms of building and so forth, whether it's remodeling or new houses or
Well, we just did,
sheds.
what, how many tonight? 2 or 3 tonight.
Good?
Get a shed.
How about planning board?
Thursday night, as we all know, will be a public hearing on the cell tower. All the appropriate players will be there. Verizon will be there, Blue Sky will be there, AT&T will be there, the attorney for Blue Sky will be there. There's somebody else, but I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. The meeting will start at at 6:30. We'll open it up for the public hearing. Hoping there'll be a lot of people there that wanna know what's going on, that haven't heard about it. But I don't know how people haven't heard about it. This thing's been going on for 19 years.
Where are you planning to have the meeting?
Uh,
Where is the meeting?
The meeting right now is gonna have to be held here because we can't hold it in the old town hall, so we'll have to do the best we can here.
John, you concur, it's not gonna be hardened by then? It's only Thursday, today's, last coat was put on today.
That's
I
the
would,
tomorrow.
post it for here,
Yep.
and, you know, I don't wanna rush it, I really don't.
I would say let's just hold it here.
Okay, and,
Okay?
yeah, that
And we
would,
could,
I mean, if push, if it really gets, you know, really, I mean, we could, but,
I'll call you.
yeah, well, I'll be, I'm gonna let the two selectmen here make that, because I won't be around,
Well, Joe will be there.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Joe's the ex officio. If he decides we can do it there, then he can move it on his point. But right now, if we can get everybody in here, we'll get everybody in here. Of course, the chair will make help the ex officio make the decision.
It'll
So,
be very tight here, you know, I just don't wanna rush it, but if we could do it, we could.
right.
I might be home Thursday, back Thursday afternoon.
I think that at the most, it'd be just chairs and maybe a couple tables,
Right.
chairs, so.
So, let's just see how it goes right now for here. If we have to, then we'll go ahead and move everybody over there.
I'll call Snooky tomorrow,
Yeah.
and see what he thinks, cause we have the heat on in there.
I don't know how many, I know as far, I've heard from my second in charge that,
There's going to be 6 people other than the planning board.
and there might be more than that because I put out the word around.
No,
I
I'm
don't
saying-
know,
I'm saying 6 officials other
Right.
than the planning board,
Right.
plus whatever the public.
so whoever shows up.
Seems to be probably 11 people, so.
So,
Alright,
so, that's going on. We have some other things that we will be discussing, between the planning board. That will be just strictly for the planning board. It's informational, it is not, to make decisions or anything else. So, it will be held open for 1 hour. Again, there'll be stipulations, and I'll explain that when we do it. On the other tower situation, the T-Mobile situation, I have talked to them. I have let him know that, the town is Wi-Fi through the whole town. And that where they are down to the edge of that road, there is Wi-Fi to the edge of that road. No, is it Wi-Fi or?
Internet.
Internet, no, the line. So,
Fiber,
Fiber optic.
fiber optic, excuse me, okay, there's fiber optic going all the way down to the end of that road, so they would have to run it from the end of that road in. I asked the gentleman if this is still moving, he says, yes, it is still moving. So I should hope to be hearing something from them in a little while on what's going on with that situation. I'll keep everybody informed on that situation. Of course, if that takes 4 or 5 years, there'll still be people out there who have not heard about it. So,
Is this
but,
the one that's at Tanglewood, Roger?
yeah.
Tanglewood, yeah, okay? But anyways, I hope the people show up and get the information they need. This will not be a B section, this is for information. And I will not take it as a B session. You ask these people nicely what's going on, they will explain to you, and you will get your answers, and we'll move on from there, okay? So, anyway, that's what's going on with the planning board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rick, please?
well, not a lot, Eddie wanted me to mention 2 people that the site down here that he's been keeping an eye on pretty much all summer. He would feel more comfortable if you would have, and give him permission to get hold of, possibly, I know you're not gonna like this, Norway Plains, to do an inspection of the retention ponds. He's got questions about when they left for them 2 weeks, we had that heavy rain, it washed some sediment into the bottom of them ponds. He's got questions about if that's something that can just be removed from the top of them pipes that are in the ground there, or is that something that's gonna have to be more in depth? And did the sediment get into them pipes? And I guess that's set up that Norway Plains does them kind of inspections. The other ones that designed the site, they'll be the ones that would know more about it rather than bring someone else in here to bring them all up to
They
speed.
turn all the data because they've done all the work so far. We have to utilize them, I mean,
That's, we'll just leave it
I mean, as far as everything else down there, he's got grades and stuff, he's had grade issues, but he's had them address them. There's still some that's being addressed, but this is one thing that he just feels that he'd be more comfortable if someone a little bit more power and knowledge of that kind of stuff would do the inspection on it. Tried to get me a number on roughly what it would be today, but no one got back to him. As soon as they do, if it's something crazy or whatever it is, we'll let you know what it is, and then if you feel like you give him that blessing to get someone in there to do that. If other than that, he's comfortable with the rest of the stuff that's in progress. It's taking a little longer than we all thought, but
Who's gonna
making sure it's
contact
right.
Norway Plains? You, Ed, one of us?
Well, Eddie reached out to get an idea,
Alright, so
you know,
okay,
so
have him contact?
get an idea of a number,
Yep.
and then we can just go from there. I don't know how much money I don't see there's much money left in that line per se, but I can't see it being a substantial amount of money. You still should have some money if you'd like to use out of the block grant money to take care of that. I think it's money well spent, because you just don't wanna have something turned over just like that, and that's the most important part of that site.
once we
is the
sign off on
retention
it, we own
pond.
it, so.
Right, and them retention ponds are big, because that's the way that the water, we're supposed, so much water is supposed to leave the property, that's the biggest thing of it, so.
in. We're gonna know next week, aren't we?
I know tomorrow morning, some of it.
What site is that?
What's that?
What site were you talking about?
Down on the Ridge Road, the highway facility site that's in progress down there.
Yeah.
So that's that one part of that thing, that's the most important thing I had. Other than that, it's just random advisory stuff, pipe paving, they may be paving out here Friday. I'm not sure if they'll get this and the other end of Silver Street done the same day, this rain might mess them up tomorrow, might push them back till Monday or Tuesday, but they've got us tentatively scheduled for Friday.
So it's Silver Street and
The
Kings
far
Highway?
end by the town line to the bridge on Silver Street, just to kind of hold that back, hold it together before it comes completely apart down there, before we get there. That's just a shim, up here, the shim overlay on the Kings Highway from here up to almost Central Scorner, basically. That new section that got destroyed out there. That's the two sections on that. The crushed gravel's well in place. You got somewhere around $80,000 worth of gravel up there for less than 40, and includes your winter sand. Winter sand was done at half the price, we were doing it in-house, we talked about that earlier, that's all up there. That part of that's done. I walked the site today with Cameron's, part of the reclamation plan is the hydro seeding of the upper half of the pit. As we close off the upper half, we have to reclaim that and seed that, and we really don't have a lot of options with hydro seeding places. I mean, they've been down here forever. The only ones I got a hold of, they come looked at it today. And I believe on that, it is what it is. We gotta meet an AOT, we gotta keep the pit open, like I just told you, we got up there for half price, so a little investment on this end, we'll just protect that part of it. Other than that, I don't believe there's a lot. You know, your town hall, your highway garage, town hall, I guess, it's all set for your elections, mine and stuff they gotta bring from here, we're good to go.
Is it, first of all, thank you for doing all that. Second, safe to say that the money set aside for paving all of that parking area will be next year.
Right. And that article was written up, I believe, up to 2020, so we will be all set next year. I don't believe there'll be any containers in our way. And the feeling on that is, you're getting this late in the season, and we already know, we got 3 different hurricanes possibly out there. You start breaking into that, and something gets messed up, either you're not gonna get it finished, or you're gonna get a rush job, and then you're gonna get what you got, so. I say we get right on it in the spring, and get right after it in the spring, and we got plenty of time to get the right people to do the job, you know what I mean? So that's my feeling on that.
Joanne?
I didn't quite understand the situation down with the retention basins. Is there silt filling up the pipes or what's the
Yeah,
situation?
apparently, even though there's no buildings down there, part of the site preparation is to make places to catch the water. Some of our heavy rains have washed some degree of silt and sand into the bottom of those retention ponds. We're gonna have Norway Plains, the company that designed all this, take a look whether this is serious or can we just scoop out the sand? Alright, that summarizes.
Yeah, and either way you look at it, it would all go back to Nelson Company, the contractor. If something's gotta be rebuilt or redone, it's now's the time to catch it and get them to do it before we give them the rest of their money when they ask for it. Basically, right now, we got a handle on it, so that's the best way to go.
Roxanne, any questions?
No question.
Alright. Okay, health officer, you wanna, anything cooking for that, or be
Well, I
quiet?
guess that cyber is gone now. I haven't heard anything,
Cyanobacteria?
yeah, the cyber, I haven't heard anything from the state. And
John,
I
you
haven't
check
heard
the-
anything from anybody in town,
Nothing on there,
that
though.
we've had a problem.
I'm going to, when I get some time here later in the year, develop some kind of, process. I have a couple of people that are board members of an association that on that, when the sino is not gonna go away, I'm sorry. It'll be around, when we have a hot summer like that, and low winds and everything else, it's gonna pop up, unfortunately. So, the state doesn't call right now, they just put it on the website and they take it off. They will react very quickly, but when there's a case, to come down and check it out. But once, they don't go around and say, oh, Middleton, this is, Department of Environmental Services, your sino is off. They just, it's off on the website, so, we'll do a better communication with, get the word out to the various associations. We'll be working on kind of like a distribution list, so, somebody complains, they go to the health office, the officer calls DES, then there'll be another communication to the normal communication we have with the public, but also to the associations would add another communication, another layer.
Okay, well, cemetery, anything going on in the cemetery?
I just gotta know, and I was gonna ask Laura when I came in, have we got anything back from them, Laura?
From,
The written thing on what they did?
Nope.
Cause I know you sent in,
I did, I sent a request,
and they still ain't,
nothing.
so I really don't wanna push on until you guys know what that, I mean, I can tell you that everything was okayed by the dirt thing, the soil
Test pit?
thing they did, but we still, after that, I wanna know where we proceed on, and what I wanna do is call the Assistant Attorney General there, and she's the one who handles the cemetery stuff, and talk to her. Should we go and dig the test pits? Should we go and do the survey of the land? Or should we go ahead and think about hiring, there are places out there that, will help you, like, you know, Norway Plains and stuff like that will help you set up your cemetery, help you with, going through all the processes, stuff like that. So that will be something I'll just wait for that letter to come in, and then I'll go ahead and make contact with her and go from there. So we probably really will not be getting into anything hot and heavy until next year.
So everybody understands, by state law, we're supposed to have a town cemetery. In the interim, we're paying, I believe, $1,200 a year to Wakefield to bury Middleton residents that cannot afford to be buried anywhere else. To date, I believe, even though we paid $1,200 a year, per year, I believe we've used it exactly 0 times. Thus, there's a need to get our own cemetery going. Alright, we are looking at a piece of town-owned property, 5 acres, on New Durham Road, just past the turn for East Lane. you keep driving, there's a person's house there, and then there's a wooded area before the next house, and along that wooded area is a huge rock, quarter the size of this room. That's about in the middle of the frontage.
Yeah.
It's 147 feet wide, and it goes back for 5 acres. Alright, that's where we're considering it. We've already walked it, they did not find any wet areas. They took test samples, but we're talking a cylinder that may be this wide and this long, hand screwed into the ground to test the soil. We're waiting for the results of that before we then go to the bigger step, survey, test pit done with an excavator. Okay? You have to have the right soil before you can start burying people. It's not as simple as simply digging a hole in the ground. If the soil is not correct, you either have to haul out that soil and put in new soil, or put a new layer on top to make it suitable, alright? So, it's all in the future.
That's right.
Alright, thank you. School board. School board is chugging along. What's up?
How much?
Good opening?
Huh?
Good opening? School opened well? Okay,
Yep, go. Other than that, I have nothing to report.
okay.
School board meeting.
Don't you have a meeting this month to talk about possibly talk about the fence
Fence?
around the,
Next Tuesday night,
And
6
that's still
o'clock.
going, huh?
yeah. I saw a paving crew there. They paved the path from the building down to the field.
Children's playground.
Playground.
Playground,
Yeah.
okay. Well, okay.
So what's next Tuesday to discuss what? The fence. Okay. It's on Tuesday, it's not on Wednesday? Next Tuesday, we have it, yeah.
Appreciate
6
it.
o'clock.
6.
6 o'clock.
It's been presented at one of the other meetings, but they didn't have enough information, so I guess we'll have another meeting.
I've presented
Joanne.
it since I've been there.
I have a question for a school board member. When I go on the website, I look for future agendas. They are noticeably missing for current ones.
I don't know, I haven't been on the website.
The SAU website. I was under the impression that they posted the agendas, but they're non-existent for current meetings. I think the last one, I think the last one there is like May.
I don't know, the members get an agenda a couple days before the meeting.
I will address that at the school board meeting.
Be my guest.
Alright, who else can we have? I don't know, town clerk, tax collector, anything
Yep,
from her?
I don't have her reports, I think she was gonna be here, but she's in there testing ballots. I do know one thing that she wanted to discuss was, she did deed the property on New Durham Road that you had the agreement with.
Yes.
The agreement was not fulfilled,
Yes.
so you should have seen a couple of checks, cause we have to return anything that was paid within this lien year that we have paid.
Alright,
So those will be going out tomorrow, just want you to be aware in case there's any phone calls that come in.
the strange hand of government. If you don't pay all of your money, the property gets liened, year 1, year 2, year 3, it gets deeded. However, if in that 3rd year, you pay some money, but not all of it, the town is obliged to give that some money back. Seems like it's going in the wrong direction. Seems like we should keep that and hold out for more, but no, you give it all back, and it gets deeded.
You chase it on again.
Right, yeah.
Don't quote me, but it was like, they only had like $700, I think, and they're up to like $4,000 or $5,000 that they would have to repay.
Yeah.
Because all the interest and everything is
And
just,
just for the record, the people we're talking about, we gave them extra time on top of what they said they could take care of, but we gave them an extra 30 days or more, just on the off chance they couldn't.
Yeah.
No problem, thank you very much. Well, that's fine. Well, it's in your hands, and we've done everything we can, as selectmen and this town, to help you keep your property, so. Now that you've really done your deal, it's a done deal, so. Don't have to be hard ass, but, I mean, it's property owners, so it's not like putting somebody other house, it's just a property owner, so. Not a big deal.
Alright, anything, police?
I have a monthly report right here.
While you're looking at that stuff, John, do we have an ECO officer yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You do? And what are they using for a vehicle?
The old, SUV that Brown had,
The white one?
yeah.
Is that ACO down on the corner of Silver?
No,
No.
153, right?
Fifty-three.
She
was there tonight, probably on a call or something.
And it's marked ACO on it, public safety ACO. It
Oh, I
has
saw it was animal control in the back.
the- Right, and it has it doesn't have the police emblem, it has the town seal like the highway trucks. have.
I didn't go by far enough to really
Yeah,
pick up
should be
on
a
that.
light,
But as you're coming down Silver Street onto New Durham Road, that house right on the corner, you know where I mean,
There
right?
was a call
Almost across from us.
there was a call there today, I
Yeah.
think, that's why they were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So basically, we have full-time, well, she's part-time, but she's available all the time for calls.
Right.
She's, very much into this, as a matter of fact, she had a pet that she had received from out of state that became quite vicious, and they had to actually shoot the dog in the basement because it attacked the dog, it just went berserk. That's a huge hit to her and husband, but now she's become the ACO officer because she just wants to protect animals, you know, it's pretty good. Read this one,
Yeah.
okay.
Very much.
Department activity, basically, is calls for service year to date, 363, arrest 19, motor vehicle stops with warnings 332, motor vehicle accidents 11, summonses issued 31, animal control called out 3. This one. So,
We currently have, it's like 5 vehicles, 2 Chargers and 3 Ford utilities, SUVs, okay? And I guess that's it. Good?
so before we move on, one thing people if you don't know, if you haven't heard, Labor Day weekend, there are some gentlemen from, what we feel, they figure from Massachusetts, North Mass, came up, to visit some people up here in, Middleton. And, for some reason, they was out riding around, and they were out towards Wolfboro, and they were going quite fast. Wolfboro PD put the lights on just to slow them down, whatever. The gentleman from North Mass took offense to that, and they went up and to Wolfboro, went to the police parking lot and trashed out one of their cars. Stole a radar, took a radar, right out of it, and they're gone. Since then, they decided they weren't quite done, so they come to Middleton. And our brand new SUV, 4,000 miles on it, had the mirrors busted out, the backup mirror on the back of the tailgate busted out, the side window was busted out, and they tried to yank out the radar that we had, but that was permanently mounted and they couldn't get it out. So basically, they have a good idea who these people are, and there's an ongoing investigation into it. The word was that these guys, one of these gentlemen, they got a background on him. He basically has had weapons charges against him involving the police department. And the word on the person who was involved in this thing actually said if had there been an officer on duty here in Middleton, there probably would have been a shooting. They were that mindset, that they were not gonna let them get out of here. And because our officers leave anywhere from midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning, okay, it's random, okay? He happened to not be here when this went on, this may have been a godsend, who knows? That could have been a bad situation, so. Right, but that's, they're working on it, and stuff like that. The car is now down at the Ford dealership, Primex is involved because, you know, we got the most of that stuff here,
There was a Massachusetts car stop on 125 today with 4 state police cruisers. Wonder if that-
Who knows?
Alright, Welfare, anything going on in welfare?
I did a report for you.
That's it?
It's all like, save the paper. I'll put next month on the bottom.
Read it?
Okay. In the month of August, there was one promissory note that was paid in full, no applications were received, currently at 50% of the budget, which is 9.6% under budget. Thanks, Laura.
As good as mine were.
Anything from fire?
Yep,
Oh. And EMS?
got this email.
Okay. Good evening. Sorry I can't make it tonight. Trucks, we have E1 has 1,024 hours on it, ambulance 1 has 34,000 miles and 5,062 hours, rescue 1 has 8,195 miles, E5 81 miles and 508 hours of operation. EMS calls at 89, fire calls 71. I would say that's year to date. Updated price on radios, we have the same ones we currently have been testing. The 3 include charger programming, lapel mic is $6,540. Lieutenant Griffin's working getting the adjustable ladder that was recommended. And I'm the liaison to the fire department. They have a ladder that they hang on. It's one of those little giants. And 2 of the rungs are gone, extend out, and the whole apparatus, or ratchet, is completely rotted and rusted. So, and they're using that to stand on and put hoses up over the rack. No, we're gonna get another one for $209. The mule, the 4-wheel that we have is on loan to Farmington Fire, and the Hayway Fireworks. And North Country EMS conference is coming up, and then the EMS will be attending, including chief. Looks like a great time for learning and network.
The heyday is over?
Hayway's is over.
So the four-wheeler should be back in.
Yes,
Oh,
I actually observed them returning,
Okay,
so.
just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Alright, under zoning, I represent the ZBA. And nothing going on, although there's some ongoing discussion about, whether someone needs a variance or not. And before we go to the expense of having someone, if you want a variance, you, the owner, has to pay to notify each abutter, and there's certified mail, and there's postings in the newspaper. Before we do that, we're trying to make sure, we, zoning and planning, make sure how we're reading all the zoning. Alright? Other than that, nothing going on. Treasury, anything?
Before a person goes for a variance, don't they first have to go to the planning board
Yes.
with their plans?
All about
They
Plans
have to go to the planning board first, the planning board is supposed to tell them at that point. The planning board is supposed to tell them what they need, not somebody else.
Alright, so what do we got? Anything?
Well, I guess money. We had, at this point, total cash available, 1.6 million. 1,660,479.31.
Just so everybody understands, one of the jobs of selectmen is to, if you will, oversee the job of treasurer. So I spent an hour or so, one day last week, having Sandy Burrell explain the job of treasurer, and how it relates to these reports here, okay? Done by computer, and explained it all, time well spent. Alright. Okay, what else? Emergency management? Haven't heard of anything going on.
There might be.
Yeah, right.
Hold on a couple days, a couple hours maybe.
I think I've hit everything.
Well,
Miss anybody?
there was a little thing on emergency management,
Yeah.
Eddie
Oh,
and Laura had a phone conversation
Oh, yeah,
with the
right.
FEMA rep.
Yep, you're right.
And I guess we're rescheduled now for the final thing that's coming like the 21st or something like that, where they actually come in and sit down and we hash out all the numbers and get everything finalized. So nothing's finalized yet, but there is money coming back here from that storm in March, so. I don't know, last time they probably did somewhere in the area of like 20 grand or something, but that's not etched in stone, so.
Herein lies the value of a Rick Washburn. It is snowing out there to beat the man. He is trying to keep the roads open. Sometimes snowing at 2 or 3 inches per hour. Each trip takes 2 or 3 hours to snow piles up. He still keeps track of all the facts and figures. When FEMA, a month later, says, oh, we'll collect data on that March 13th storm. Some towns say, geez, I can't remember how many people worked and how much salt did we use and sand. Somehow, 'cause Rick has a truck, not necessarily plowing into the big ones, but you see him out with his pickup truck, 8-foot plow, opening all the intersections. He does all that, plus he keeps track of who's been called in, how much extra salt is needed, so that when FEMA finally decides that was a bad storm, he can work with Laura to get the information in. So again, thank you for keeping track of it.
Oh, there's a good team over there. I gotta take my hat off to Eddie Brennan too, and also Laura Parker. She's phenomenal on some of this, all these forms and keeping track of when the phone calls are coming and when this guy's gonna want somebody. So, you know, there's no iron team really, and we just got a good one as far as I'm concerned.
You agree, you wait a month and try to reconstruct what you did, it's too late.
Yep, right, we got forms, every truck's got one, they keep track of their load counts, and we pretty much know what the hours are for the routes. And, you know, that was 33 inches, but pretty much, we've been doing that, we're doing over 35 years, it was just a northeast snowstorm to me, you know what I mean, but we'll take the money.
So that's 2 elections in a row, 2018, 2017, for snow. Any predictions about tomorrow, or you think you're alright?
Tomorrow.
It's gonna be a little wet probably tomorrow, and also I already told Laura, there's a little problem with the furnace over there. You might wanna adjust a little warm, it didn't sound too good today when we fired it up, it just don't sound good to me, Joe, so.
I can't imagine why.
I
Well, it's been since 2011.
We got fans, I don't know if we can get at it now.
It's gonna be cool, it's 59 degrees in there today,
Is it?
so, that's not really warm.
That's good work with
But I think you can get it warmed up enough.
Fire up that torpedo,
It'll be
that
all right.
thing, I need that torpedo in a hurry.
And that's just something else you need to wanna think about is also, I forgot to mention, we've gotta get someone to do the furnace. I mentioned it to John, I think.
If you started all the trucks, isn't the exhaust warm?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Funny.
We'll have to worry about many elections then.
There you go.
Alright, anything else, Joanne?
To add on to the comments about Rick saying that there's no I in team, and kudos to Laura and to the selectmen tonight for, whether they said about the meeting at the school or not. If you go to the Middleton Forum page on Facebook, you'll find that it's generally agreed that Middleton is the place to live.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Good. Alright, I think I'm done with all the department heads. Any old business, new business come before us?
Not new business,
Okay.
participation.
Sure, take that too, if there's nothing else.
Just a question from Roger, there are 3 classes coming up on land use, are you guys planning on attending them next month?
We haven't even heard about this.
They're in the town and city magazines on the very back page. As
I
a
haven't
little
even
sketch.
got a town city for I don't know how long.
There's 3 of them. I was gonna ask you guys if it was possible that, if for the 3 classes, it's $90. I don't have the $90, but I'd like to attend those classes.
But are you,
I'm not on the planning
I
board,
don't know,
though,
I don't,
the whole thing.
it would certainly be a nice gesture, but no, I personally would not
That's okay.
approve.
But this is something they should be attending.
Now that he's aware of it, we'll see how it works out.
I know the
Yeah, like I said, I haven't
They're
seen.
meeting on Thursday, discuss it.
Alright,
We will. Matter of fact, I'll ask Moira to pull up her town and shit on you guys.
It's on the back cover, Laura.
By the way, speaking of going places, didn't you go to the meeting on elections?
We both
Yeah,
did,
we
yep.
went to that, yep.
Both went, Jack went, so there's lots of meetings going on, so thank you all for taking
Jack
time to
went?
go to these.
We went to a different
Oh,
one.
okay.
Good?
And,
All right,
We went wrong.
Yeah, and then we still got emails the other day that really, tomorrow's gonna be loads of fun.
Lot to read.
I have
Tammy.
a question.
sure.
On cleanup day, if I have my garbage in one of those black trash bags, do I need a sticker on that bag or not?
Well, I'm gonna say yes and no. You would think if it's in a black trash bag that can be picked up easily, no problem, like ordinary weekly trash. I have heard reports in the past, however, that the crew on the trucks sometimes open the bags, and if they found construction debris inside of a black plastic bag, they would not pick it up, even if you put a sticker on it, okay? If you put leaves and grass clippings in a black plastic bag, you put that inside your metal barrel, if they open it and find it, then they won't take it.
But if it's just regular, like, stuff you're trying to get rid of, you know, not construction stuff, but
I
other
don't
than
see a
just
problem, anybody?
Household trash.
no.
not really household trash, just odds and ends of stuff, you know, like a broken whatever. I got into an argument last time with the garbage guy. He told me I needed a sticker on every one of my bags. He didn't open them up, he didn't know what it was.
When you said last time we had big trash pickup. Okay.
And he said he's not supposed to
No.
take them, but he took them anyway, but there's supposed to
So,
be a sticker on
I
each
really
bag.
think that when we have one coming up again in October, we need to reach out to LaChapelle and have him come up here and see what is the program, because your people are out there making up the rules as they go. Okay, we're paying some good money for this, and I know that they're doing this as part of our contract, but we need to all be on the same page.
So, do you have time to contact Peter Lusher to either give us a set of rules or come to our next meeting, which is not next week, it must be the week after, okay? To get ready for the October 2nd big trash pickup. And when we talked about this before, a reminder, don't put your stickers on an item the night before because people steal the sticker. Put it on the morning.
Fasten with duct tape.
Have you gone down to the dam since Saturday?
No,
You should go down there.
looks nice.
They did, I was down there when they were there, they did a good job. And it makes no sense to them or to us why DES asked for that to be done. That was the dumbest thing.
The dam at Sunrise Lake is under the jurisdiction of the Sunrise Lake Village District. Even though the state reconstructed the dam, the state said it wasn't done right, they had to add some dirt on one end. Okay? As former emergency management director, I can tell you that if that dam breaches, we will only have to make one phone call. Hello, Farmington, you've got about 20 minutes to vacate the downtown area, because it's coming. Everybody thinks it's gonna come down Main Hill, it's not, it's gonna come.
When I stood there
Accident.
about Carter Saturday, I stopped on my way back from shopping, and then I talked to Jerry, I said, you know, in the grand scheme of things, even if we hadn't touched that and water came up that little beach, it would go swirl around, it would go right down that slope into the river.
Yeah, no,
It's not gonna come out onto the road.
this is all paid for through the village district.
Right.
If you live in the village district, you have the honor of paying more taxes.
You should do.
Okay?
But only about
Good for
50
you.
cents.
That's right. All right, anything else for us?
I make a motion.
Two,
Adjourn.
at,
7:47.
all right, is there a second?
Sounds like a death.
Not yet. Okay, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.